Hello, good evening. Welcome back. I don't think there's anybody in here except for a Soz, and one of his messages didn't get shown. Try and be nice, Soz. Just once, just be nice. And we have problems because I'm not sure we've been doing this right because I haven't been paying much attention to what's going on. I don't think I have much of an option in terms of the way we're set up. I'm trying to get them to play in a way that best suits them. Um, and I said, try and be nice, Soz. So I'm not quite sure um, how to set this up. What I do know about Sheffield United is they are on the march. They've won in the last 5 games, I think, and they've gone above us in the table, I believe. They do play a lot of their football down their left-hand side, and I don't want to take them on down the left-hand side. What I want to do probably is to focus through the middle. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to have good support players, and that will mean that these two have to support each other, and then Isidore will be the third supporting player. And I've asked Anucci to hold his position so that he will be the fourth supporting player. They're not going to get much help on the right-hand side. The anchor will get support from the wing-back, but it's this side. And really, I should have Sirkin on a support duty as well, so that they can form nice little triangles down this side, but then I'm lacking attacking options then. So it's really a tricky one, this. And what I've done quite wrongly is by rushing the game because of YouTube. What we've done is we haven't developed the tactic bit by bit as we've gone through the season. What I do know is that I need another midfielder. Absolutely 100% sure I need another midfielder. I've got 5.5 million, and we are coming up to a transfer window, which of course is going to slow things down again. So I desperately want a midfielder to come in so that we can maybe start putting some results together. The other thing that I had a thought was to push these midfielders up into a central midfield position, but that would be then changing the whole way we're playing again, and I don't think now is the correct time to do it, especially as we have won our last 2 fixtures. That awkward spell is now hopefully behind us, where we didn't win for 5 games, and I don't know what happened there. It happened at the same time as my other save, and I'm really not sure what happened there. We weren't playing badly at the time. We were playing quite well, and something went badly wrong. And I think it's probably because I just haven't developed this tactic properly, and now we're way behind in terms of tactic development. And that's what happens when you rush things, when you try to rush through something. But we're going to have to try and salvage it, and Sheffield United are on a march. As I said, they play mostly down their left-hand side, so I want to keep it away from there and defend on the left-hand side if I possibly can. So I've switched those two over so that the anchor is more this side. I don't know. At the moment, I'm just like guessing. I want to make sure that we have players capable of playing here, and I'm going to have a look at Neil. And he's okay. He has a good left foot, because also what I was thinking is if we put Sirkin on support down this end, then we could have him on support and ask him to pass more direct with a winger on attack. But that's something I'll consider if things are not going too well. We can also then put these two in different roles, but Hume doesn't want to play in an attacking role, so he's better on a support role. I've got players injured again who or got injured, but can't see where they are now. Huggins got injured. He's not fit. Ballard needs a rest, apparently. You've always got one centre-back who continually needs a rest. And I'm not quite sure why he needs a rest, because centre-backs don't really do much. So I'm not quite sure. I don't want to focus the play down the right. In fact, what my plan to do is, if they do have a lot of left footers, and I want to force them. They do have a lot of right footers. I want to the other way around. I want to force them to play down the right if it's at all possible. I'm going to go with this team. I also need to just at some point go and have a look to see if we are maximising our players to the best ability. Are we playing our best players in the right role? And are we building this tactic that suits our best players? I don't know that as yet, but it's something I need to find out off camera, and that'll take a lot of work in the data hub and the chalkboard to find that out. We haven't been on a good run. We've won 2. I'm going to say we need to step things up, and but I am going to say that I have faith in them to step things up. And now let's have a look at how we're planning to turn them onto the right-hand side. I'm going to get rid of all this for a start. They don't cross very often. That is one thing that I've noticed, and anything that's dangerous comes from the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. So Amadozic is not, he's a centre-back, he's not a full-back. So he's going to have a quiet game down there, looking after our inside winger and our inverted winger. And I don't really think there's anything we need to do apart from turn him inside. We want to make sure they don't go outside, and same for this geezer. I think all we're going to do is just turn him onto his right foot to bring him inside rather than push him outside. I really don't feel like I want to overload the midfield, but I just want to stop them going down the right and left hand sides. They're more dangerous from the left, as I said. They play much more down the left than they do the right. And this is where it becomes important, because I want him at the base of midfield not to pass left. I want him to pass right. So we'll turn him onto his right foot. And also, Jack Robinson, I want him turned onto his right foot. So that will then make him pass this way. And I'm going to ask somebody to close him down to make sure that that happens. And then Tom Davis is probably one of their main players. He has a reasonable left foot, but I want him to go right. So we're not going to do anything with that. I don't want him coming left. Even though his left foot is only reasonable, I want him to go right. And then Andre Brooks, who has a very strong left foot, I want to turn him onto his right foot and make sure he's going that way and not where they prefer to play. And they've got players like Brewster out on that left wing. I don't want that happening. Therese Campbell is not a very good crosser of the ball. They didn't cross very much from the right, and I'm guessing he's going to be trying to cut inside. I'm going to force him out and get him to cross. So we're going to force him with a hard tackle onto his right foot. Just force him outside. Again, forcing him to go down the right. And then Brewster, who also doesn't cross very well. Hi, Callum. How are you doing? Well, we're going to get into the playoffs, I would imagine, Callum, but I can't see us getting promoted outright. I don't see that happening. Unless I can get a really good DM in this window, I don't see that happening. So I'd like to give... he's young, and I'd like to give him a hard tackle. Now, he's not too young, but he's not very strong. So I'd like to give him a hard tackle. Without that strength, he's brave, but he doesn't have the strength. So I want to give him a hard tackle. He's not very good at crossing. His balance and agility, though, is quite good, so that might enable him to turn. But I want him on his left foot. I just want him pushed out into the corner. He's the only one I want to go with his normal foot. And Kiefer Moore, I definitely don't want to tight mark him. He's way too tall, but he has a reasonable left foot, so I'm going to turn him onto his left foot. He's not an issue as the others are. I just want to stop him shooting. And let's hope that we can now direct the ball out to... I'm going to go back to comprehensive. I want to keep an eye on this for 5 minutes. And I'm just hoping we can direct the ball into areas on the left-hand side of the pitch, not our right. And we've got this support attack duty ratio fairly well adjusted. But I don't know, because I haven't been focused on developing the tactic. And I think now is the time we should start thinking about doing that. And I want the playmaker to hold his position in here. But defensively already I can see that we're a bit out of sorts here. I've got a... What's the referee doing? I've got my Volante is on an attack duty at the moment. No, he's on support. I did put him on support in the end. And that's where I want him to be. I want him to... I want us to pass better than that for a start. I've decided that we were going to start by zipping the ball around at a higher tempo. If it's not working, I'm going to bring it back to a slower tempo, because this might be our undoing today. And if our passes are going astray quite regularly then, and we're not dominating possession, which we have to do in this game, then we're going to have to go into a more shorter passing game rather than zipping it around. And they're very dangerous already. And possession wise, I mean, we've had most of the ball, but we're not doing anything with it at the moment, unfortunately. And neither are Sunderland, really. They had those couple of crosses, but nothing much to shout about. Good evening, Saul. How are you? Good evening. And Soz. I have asked you to be nice. You don't have to stay, Soz. Really, if it's frustrating you and you're getting bored, leave. Go and watch someone else. What do you want me to do? This is how I want to play the game, Soz. And I'm not going to play the game the way you want to. If you want to play the game like that, you go ahead and stream and I'll come and watch you. And I'll keep saying, slow down, you idiot. Because you haven't got a clue what you're doing. So, a lot of football is tactics. And if you don't pay attention to it, Soz, then you're not going to win competitions. So we are trying to take control of the tactic now. But I think that it's going to be a slow process. We're not going to counter-press. I decided that's probably foolish. We're in a mid-block, and so I decided it's probably foolish to counter-press. When really I don't know how this game is going to go. We're still not creating chances, which is a problem. And I wonder if I do need... My assistant keeps shouting at me, low block, low block, low block. I wonder sometimes if I do need to go into a low block. Hey, Arrow, how are you doing? Thank you for your support. I wonder if he's right that perhaps I do need to be in a low block. We are light in midfield, and they are probably going to dominate that area of the field. But we have got the possession, which is quite interesting. It will be interesting at half-time to have a look at how we've achieved that possession, because my idea was to stop them playing down their left and to play down our left. And we want to see if that's what's happening. I want to see nice, pretty little pictures, triangles on the left-hand side in the stats. You don't really get a true representation in the visuals. SI have done their best to make it look that way, but it's not a true representation of what's going on. And I can see that we are a little bit down the left, which is good, and Isidore has a chance and he's missed it, and our woes in front of goal just keeps going. We've got the match momentum now. I'd like to keep that, and I can see that on the heat map that we're going down the right hand side and not too much on the left, and that's not what I wanted. And I think it's to do with the support and attack duties. And if you don't have enough people supporting the player, who in this case is a Segundo Volante on the left on support, if there's not enough players getting into position to support him and create the triangles, then they're going to look right to try to get the ball out right. And that's where I think the tactic is going wrong. And I just want to quickly look at that, and we're going to go to our pass combinations. You can see it's mostly down the right, but we do have some pretty little triangles on the left-hand side, but it's mostly down the right. And Ahmed is actually passing back a lot rather than passing forward. He's not getting any forward momentum. There's no progressive passes from Ahmad, who actually is playing as an anchor, but he's a little bit further forward than the Segundo Volante. This is really interesting, and the attacking playmaker is a little bit over to the right. And that could be because of defensive responsibilities. It could be that he doesn't have the support to go inside. And the only option he's got is to go backwards, or he can't get to the Segundo Volante on the left-hand side. And this is where it's falling down. He's being forced right. So rather than try to change that, I think we'll just focus our play down the right-hand side. Rather than try to change the tactic and solve that problem, we'll just focus our play down the right-hand side. They are stronger on the right, and that is a worry, but we are defensively, I think, more solid on the right than we are on the left, and starting to waffle. So they have made a couple of substitutions. They're obviously not happy. He is a good player. There's no doubt about it, and he wants to play down the left, but I want him to play his passes right. So we're going to send him on his right foot as well. It's a strong foot, and to close him down, we need to close him down as well. So we're going to close this boy down, and we're going to send him onto his right foot, so he's pushing the ball out right. They're weaker down there, and they don't like it. And that's why their wingers probably come off, because he's not playing very well. Hard tackle for him, and right foot as well. Everybody, is that right? His crossing isn't brilliant. So hard tackle for him, and right foot as well. So everybody's going to be forced to play down here. Hopefully, that's the game plan. And we haven't been the better team. I don't want to tell them really that. Yeah, I suppose I could say we haven't taken nearly enough shots, but I've got work the ball into the box on, and if I tell them that, I have to give them some help, and we'll take that off. If I'm going to tell them they haven't taken enough shots, I'm going to have to give them the opportunity to take some shots. Risk, but there we go. My team in FM at the moment is Gateshead. I'm 20th in league games, unbeaten. Blimey, unbeaten 22. That's awesome. I wish I was. I wish I was. They're going down the right. They don't like it very much, and they're coming inside again. And that's the plan. Force them outright. And because we're not pressing, again, we're forcing them outright. And hopefully they don't like that very much, and we've managed to take the ball off them. That is the game plan. But not giving away free kicks in silly areas. That's not part of the game plan. Their finishing is very poor. On Wednesday, I asked you who the player of the game would be in the conference round. You said Cole Palmer. I think like a lot of people, especially in the FPL community, had been talking about Palmer should not be in your FPL team. The reason being that his form had dipped. He hadn't scored and what have you in goodness knows how many games. And my issue with that was that good players remain good. And that although their form might dip for a variety of reasons. But good players always remain good players. And he did start to improve as the last couple of games of the season were played out, and I just felt he's going to show up in the final, and he did. Good players always show up in finals, and he did. So yeah, it was like it wasn't a difficult thing to predict, really. Come on, boys, let's get a goal. Let's scare this league to death and announce we are back in the fight. We will go third again if we beat them, and that would be a really nice thing to go back third. Keep the pressure on Derby and Burnley. Where are you on Bruno? Stay or go? Me personally, I'd prefer he left now. And he has been United's best player, but unfortunately in the middle of the season, he turned into the biggest complainer that I've ever come across in my life. It even led to him getting red cards, and that's for me a sign of frustration. And although he is a good leader, he is a good hard worker, he's not the only player out there who can play like that. And we've just got to go out there and find younger players, because he's going to be 32 by the time we get into the Champions League, 32, 33. That's too old. And I think now is the time. Let him go. Take the money. Let him go. And let's find somebody 24, 25 years old who's got a ton of running in him, able to do the job. And personally, I would reinstate Harry Maguire as captain. I know that's controversial, but if ever there was a leader and has shown he's a leader, it's Harry Maguire. And I personally would let Bruno go and instead reinstate Harry Maguire as captain. We're not going to completely refurbish that defence, so somebody has to step up to the plate in that defence, lead the team. And I think he's the man to do it. I don't know. That's just my ramblings. It'll probably all turn out very different at the end of the day. I just think it's going to take a long, long time before Manchester United get back together. They have made another substitution, and that's a striker now. Ryan Brewster is getting very tired. So maybe we are right to focus down the right-hand side with... He's getting very tired as well, Norrington Davis. I don't know what to do with him. Is he got a weaker foot? Yeah, left foot again. Is he as tall? 6'4". He's pretty much the same. We don't want to get too tight to him. So... we'll just go with that for now. I might have to make a couple of subs very soon. Samed is very tired, or at least getting there. I'm going to give him 5 more minutes to see this little spell of Sheffield United's out, if we can. But I don't want them going left. Force him right. That's it. If you just force them right all the time, we'll be fine. And that's good. Again, we're forcing them out to the right. See how they're trying to come back left? But if we keep forcing them out to the right, then they're not going to be comfortable playing in the way we're telling them to play. Hammer is a very, very good player, and I really should be doing more with him. And that's the kind of thing that he's capable of. I was warned about him being a very good player, but when he does runs like that, there's not much we can do about it. And it is Sheffield United all the way at the moment, and they've scored, and the worst possible thing has happened. So strife goes on. And it's Hammer again, isn't it? Oh, he's offside. He's got to be offside, referee. It's been given as offside. I need to make some changes now. I thought that was the worst possible thing. I thought we had a chance of sneaking this, but with their wing-backs, with their full-backs getting very tired, the central defenders are getting very tired, Brewster's very tired. What I think I'm going to do is go a little bit more direct. Let's get the ball up the pitch, and let's take that off because it doesn't really matter where we go. He needs to come off because even though he's the best player on the pitch at the moment, he's dying on his feet. We do have O'Neill who can play there, so I think we need to put O'Neill in there as the anchor, and then Segundo Volante. I'm also thinking that he should be on an attack role, but we are leaving ourselves very light in midfield, so it's probably not a good idea. I am thinking now, let's focus down both flanks, keep it out of the middle where we're getting tired, and Neil is tired, so Chris Rigg can have an outing, not as an anchor. We'll put him on support. I'm not sure if he's got the passing ability to do it. And there's one or two others getting very, very tired as well. And it's the crucial positions like Sirkin that need to be changed. But I've only got, with the injuries, I've only got Anderson, who I'm not really aware of in terms of his form. Patrick Roberts isn't playing very well. I'm going to put Sirkin on a support duty and put Isidore on an attack duty. And I'm going to tell them to play more direct and pass into space because their wing backs are tiring, and it just might be we can get a ball over the top, and maybe I'm also thinking if we have him cut inside with the ball, then I'm going to play him as a winger on attack. So give him a little bit of width within which to play. Oh, it's difficult. There's so many tired players out there. We'll give them a little bit more time. We're not as tired. Oh, now Mepham is very, very tired. Well, I was just about to say we're not as tired as Sheffield United, but we are running out of puff a little bit. But I do need them now to get the ball behind the defence. Let's get it forward quickly and catch them out with a bit of pace. And let's see Isidore sprinting down that wing. He hasn't got it, that boy. He's just not got it. And luckily he's only on loan because I wouldn't want him coming up to the Prem with us. He's just not got it. And he needs to stay in the Championship basically for at least another couple of seasons. He's just not Premier League material. Now, I know I wanted it played more direct, but that didn't include humping it up the pitch, not looking. And that's Isidore again. And well done. We've managed to nick the ball. but we still haven't been able to get behind them, unfortunately. But again, we're still trying to force them to play down the right. They haven't coped very well with play down the right. And we started to create a chance or two, and maybe exploiting these flanks, leaving our wing-backs on support, pumping it into space. We can exploit these flanks late on. Mepham does need to come off. As soon as this highlight's done, he will be exiting. And then they're really not taking any shots anymore. I don't know if they're afraid of me because I've been telling them off because they've been taking shots from too far out. But they're really not... Ooh, that was nearly an own goal. They're really not taking shots anymore. That's so annoying. Sirkin definitely needs to come off now, so Anderson will have to come on. I don't know what he's comfortable doing, to be honest. I'm going to put him as a fullback on a support duty, just to support the player in the middle of the field. That's the best I can think of. Mepham also needs to come off. And this is a problem. Injuries have left me totally devoid of players. I don't think Mepham can come off. Unless I move Anderson over to centro defender. And then I can't do that either. So one of them's going to have to stay on. Mepham will have to stay on, I think. I think Sirkin has blown it. Patrick Roberts is also very tired. Benete can come on for him. And we'll try Isidore. We'll try Barry for Isidore. He can also try and get behind his fullback, try and cause a few problems out there. Although we have been beaten, we haven't allowed them much attacking opportunities. And defensively, we set this game up quite well. In fact, telling them to go onto their right foot, they didn't like it. And we could see they kept trying to come back to the left. We closed all those avenues down and forced them back out onto the right again. So defensively, we've been very good. We just haven't been very good up front. But then that's the story of Sunderland so far. We are very poor up front. Very, very poor. Midfield is just lacking depth. And we're poor up front. But the defence has been playing, I think, reasonably well. And the fact that we've only let them have 6 shots is testament to how well we've defended in terms of the game plan and turning them towards the right-hand side of the field. We are comfortable playing down both flanks. Oh, what a chance. What a save. Oh, that was TV save, that was. That was a really good animation. What a great save. Manchester United should convince Ferguson. I think he's a bit old now, Callum, to be honest. I think he's just a little bit too old. Do you know who I'd like to see in charge? And I know people are going to... I'd like Harry Maguire to be captain. I know that's controversial. But you know who I'd like to see back in charge? Solskjaer. And I think, oh my God, that was dreadful. And I think that we haven't played well at all for a long, long time. And I think the last time I saw this team play well was when Solskjaer was giving them the freedom playing that direct counter-attack style. And that's the last time I saw them play well. So I think I'd like to give him another shot. I'm not sure... Get in! Have we stolen it? I'm not sure that that the 5-3-2 is 5-2-3 is Manchester United. We don't have the players for it, and unless United are going to spend a ton of money on players in one transfer window, it's going to take years to build up the players who fit that system. And he's made a start. I like the left wing back. What's his name? Gorku. I think he fits the way that they play. And so they've made a start, but one player isn't going to make the difference. And there you go. That's who was arguing me. You'd like to see Sean Dyche. It would certainly make us better in defence, Kusick. Absolutely need to be better defensively. But I don't think that they like playing in a 3. For years, we've always been playing with a back 4, and I don't think they like it. I just want to hold possession now. That's what I want to do. But I'm actually quite enjoying this, that we've taken the lead. I'm going to take that off because I think we're a little bit fitter, but not much. And we've actually taken the lead because we gambled in part on that. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to stay doing what we were doing. And now Brewster's injured. And that... I know this is a nasty thing to do and is frowned upon by the community. We're already hard tackling him anyway. So to hard tackle an injured player is frowned upon a little bit. And we have finished stronger. We are now, I'd say, the better team. Our XG doesn't reflect that, but then our XG never does. But we are now, I think, the better team. We're finishing stronger. Passing the ball around much more direct, and I think we're just taking advantage of tired players at the back, and that's been good. And the fact that we're forcing them this way, something that they really don't like. He's not comfortable. He's going to come back again, so we don't want them going that way though. Oh, we need to stop that. And so, therefore, I need Anderson to make sure that he's closing down properly on that side. Sirkin was doing a much better job because we need him to go outright. Have I missed any of their subs? Yeah, Koulibaly. We need to hard tackle him as well as close him down. Actually, we'll tight mark him and hard tackle him. No, we won't, because we are very light, so we'll just close him down. And his concentration's not very good, so hopefully we'll catch him on an off day. But there you go. Have we nicked this? Have we actually stolen the points here? We just need to just hold on now, boys. Just don't do anything daft, and just hold on. And if they're starting to play much more direct, and I'm wondering, should I lower my line to counter that? But I don't think we need to. We've controlled that fairly well. But, I did say, no more stupid mistakes, boys. And then we go and make one. How many minutes gone now? We've still got 3 minutes left. Another mistake. We've got to cut out these mistakes, boys. And it does seem they are going at a higher tempo. They're trying to get back into this game now, and they are playing at a much higher tempo. I want to slow it down now. I'm going to just slow it all down now. We've done what we need to do. We don't need to do any of that nonsense. We don't need to pass it into space now. We'll play for set pieces. Be a little bit more disciplined. And we'll slow the pace down. And I'm going to come into a low block. And that'll be that, hopefully. We'll see out the game. They've stepped it up a bit. See, Harmer is a very dangerous player. And we've just got a few seconds to hold on. unless the referee decides it's actually 9 minutes. It's just a few seconds to hold on, and we have held on, and we've beaten Sheffield United. And I think I need to take a little bit of credit for that. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I need to take a little bit of credit for that victory. It wasn't easy. We had a game plan at the beginning. We're only 2 points behind Derby now, which is... we're back in contention. We had a game plan to force them out to the right-hand side. And it just goes to show, like, looking at my Aston Villa save, we've played 5 and won 5. And it just goes to... He always wants a rest. How long am I supposed to arrest him for? He's had a rest today. No, we're not doing that. He's just pulling my leg. And I think... if you do the hard work, do the groundwork before the game, you'll get rewarded. And somebody said that the other day. Saul, I think it was. And I think that's actually true. If you do the groundwork, then you will get your reward eventually. And I haven't been doing any groundwork, any backroom work, as it were. But we've suddenly recovered, and we've won our last 3. We're back up into second, and we have some fairly decent fixtures coming up over the next month. So hopefully things will be... Now, I know people get upset, but I am going to go into have a look at how we actually managed to do that. I mean, initially I instructed our team to play down the left. This is good. This is very, very good. It's an absolute control in midfield. That is a very nice pass map. But we do need some more support. There's got to be a little bit of a link between... a little bit more of a link between these players and these players. And I can see that Isidore, for me, isn't high up enough. One of these was on attack, which I think was Patrick Roberts. And for me, he isn't high up the pitch enough. And the support is probably right, but then... because I had Sirkin coming inside, that's why I wanted him to help out in the midfield, and he did. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to have a look at the average overall positions, clear that, and then first 11, starting 11. It looks pretty good to me, except that the playmaker could possibly be a little bit deeper. If he was deeper, it would be a lovely shape. But he's just a little too high. And this is another thing. If I go to the players and look at passes, and I go and look at Sunderland will help. Connolly, not shots, passes. Connolly received the ball actually 25 times. Actually, that's not bad. That's pretty good. And in fact, everybody had a good even spread of playing passes. Mepham, 96 passes he received. He was at the centre of everything. And I want to look at Sheffield United's crossing. And Ryan Bruce, nobody completed a cross, and that's because we kept it away from the left hand side, and we kept forcing them right. They don't like crossing from there, and really nobody actually completed a cross. And given that they got 6'5" and 6'4" strikers, I think that's a big deal. I still need to work out this tactic. The heat map reflects that we played good possession football, really, around the middle of the field. What didn't happen is not enough involvement on the left-hand side of our attacking players. That's what we got to work out. think Amarin is too stubborn. They played good and got sacked because the expectation was too much because of Ronaldo. I think so, Callum. Yeah. Um, I actually enjoyed how Solskjaer played. I thought he was a very good manager and he did a good job. I thought he was underrated, and I think that another chance, perhaps he's got a little bit more experience now. Give him another chance, he probably would do a better job. And yeah, he doesn't have Ronaldo to deal with. Think Aberrin is too steady. He hasn't got the players to play that way, and he's not willing to change, hence his results. Yeah, and he doesn't have a plan B. Like most managers should have a plan B. If it's not working, then I'm going to go to this system. And every week we watch it not working, and at halftime he's got no idea. He doesn't do anything other than substitutes, and often makes those too late. I was hoping you would incorporate some of the Aston Villa save analysis into your streams. Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely loving that, because it is allowing me to get into, if we go and have a look at our last 5 matches, and let's just look at the last 5 matches overall. And the touches to goals ratio, he's now telling me, because a week ago he was telling me to work the ball into the box. Now he's telling me to shoot on sight. And if we then take games away, so that we're only looking at the last 4 now, he's still saying shoot on sight. But now that's gone. In the last 3 games, the games that we've won, he's not too bothered, and he's now saying we've scored none of our 14 shots attempted from outside the box. So there's more positives than negatives starting to build up. There's a long-range shots and opposition touches to shots conversion. We're allowing them into the penalty area quite a lot, but on the other hand, they're not creating great chances from it. When we come to the last match, he's making a suggestion. We're not nearly getting enough touches of the ball in the opposition's penalty area, but limiting them in ours, which is good for defensive play. So he's saying change Wilson Isidore to an inside forward and change Patrick Roberts to an inside forward, and then more direct passing. Now, it did seem to work, but I can't go and do that just on a whim, just because for 30 minutes we played more direct and it worked. I'm not going to do that. But these suggestions are to get the players further inside and take shots and take opportunities rather than look for passes. So those might be good suggestions and might help the attack. Patrick Roberts, if he wants him to play more direct as an inside forward and then to take fewer risks and pass it shorter. These are interesting suggestions. And again, I'd have to go and have a look at the passing stats for Patrick Roberts. So go and have a look easily what the passing stats for Patrick Roberts are. And I thought he was going to be a really good player, but he's not proving to be that. 39 passes, you see, he's not passing very well. And in terms of his shooting, his attempts on goal, 2 shots and 50% rate. So maybe he's right. And I think that that's the solution maybe that I'm looking for. Because if we make Isidore into an inside forward on support on this side, then what we have is 2 players coming in and trying to get into the penalty area. And that might be the right way to go about it. And then we will not have him cut inside with the ball, which I thought I had done. I don't want him cutting inside with the ball now, and I'm going to take off the underlap because they're just going to get in each other's way and keep it a lot simpler. And now I think we might have solved the support issue on this side, because if he's coming inside, he's got support in 3 different directions. So maybe the assistant is right. But we shall see. I don't really want to go on just more direct, just on a whim. The fact that we played it for 30 minutes and it worked. I just don't want to do that. It doesn't make sense to me at all. If, however, we have to keep doing that to win games, then we might have to consider it. Now, did I rest the players? That's the thing before I move on. The next game is, God blimey, 1st of January, which is in a few days. So I'm going to have to rest these players. They're going to be absolutely exhausted. Let's give them a rest for a day. So that means they're going to miss the match focus. Actually, I might have made an absolute error there, because they're probably now going to miss the match day as well. Because I'd moved it on a day. I didn't realise. And we're going to lose Samed as well. And this is absolutely why I need a defensive midfielder. And save time. They're all a bit pricey, aren't they? He's already out on loan, isn't he? Aging Tom Kearney. It's not being made any easier, is it? What's this Max Bird like? Adequate, I'd say, but not brilliant. And then I will have a look what I got in my shortlist. Ruben Colwell, but he's not a DM, so that doesn't help. Players of interest, none. Strikers, none. Midfield, yeah. The scouts are taking a while. Jensen Weir, no, that bad. Did we see Jensen Weir? Is he up for, have I got anybody coming in because of the, I got a central defender coming in, 21 years old. Who's not that brilliant, but I have a winger coming in, but joins the 1st of February after the transfer window closes. So that means I can't register these two anyway. He's 21 years old, he might make it. But as an under 21, who knows? This is tricky. Jensen Weir. He is a Segundo Volante, and it is his favoured choice. But it's very risky. But then beggars can't be choosers. He's the right price range. This guy would be good, I think. But we don't have that kind of money. But I was hoping that somebody would be available for loan, but of course he's out on loan already. The other thing I can do is just go to my lovely director of football, suggest some transfer targets here within the price range, if you don't mind. Outside the scouting ranges in Japan. I don't know. Can't make a decision on that. Price unknown. Player unknown as well. He's given me players I can't scout. Not much of a... He's probably useful. And if he develops into that, then he becomes a very good player. But he's only got really 1 year left. Where in Wales is he from? It's like Llanelli is where I went to school. I was born in Warrington in England. Went to school in Solva Primary School in West Wales. And then moved to Llanelli and was a Scarlet fan then through my teenage years. Still playing football through my teenage years. When I went to university, I went to university in Bangor, and then I started playing rugby. And I continued to play rugby until I retired from sport. Played a bit of football, but even up to when I was 55, I actually quit playing football. So a long... Yeah, absolutely true, Bobby. You are an absolutely interesting bunch of guys, and I do like chatting to you. It's fun for me. Making videos is boring, it's lonely, but doing live streams is much more fun. I like Sosha, but I would get Mancini in after Amarin. One of the other things we got to think about, Callum, is we cannot keep changing managers. I don't know how many we've been through, all with good reputations, all allegedly really good managers, and none of them have succeeded. And we just can't keep changing managers. The problems are deeper than the manager. And without players who are not pretending to be pop stars, that's the first thing, who are not selfish on the ball, like Garnacho. I'm quite happy to let Garnacho go. He's one of the most selfish footballers I've ever seen. He never passes the ball, and Hoyland must be so frustrated with him. And they want to play football every week, and they were willing to put in 90 minutes worth of effort, not just 45 minutes worth of effort. Don't give up after half time. And want to learn, then let's give him a chance. We can't keep changing the manager. It's like Bridgend. Oh, right, okay. Bridgend, Bridgend used to be a rugby team in its own right, and we used to have some very good battles against Bridgend. And I think that's kind of sad that rugby has gone that way, that the towns, in a sense, have lost their rugby clubs. They've lost their identity a little bit. Llanelli certainly has. I believe Llanelli play now near to Carmarthen. And it's not even Llanelli anymore. It's the Saucepans or the Scarlets. So I'm not sure rugby's gone in the right direction. A whole bunch of towns lost their... where's Fabri? What's it then? Frabotta. Sounds like a striker. No, he's a fullback. Set piece chances, not very good. Yeah, the Celtic Warriors are gone too, yes. I mean, to be honest, I felt really sad when that happened, and I think it was going that way. It's all about money these days, and it was going that way. playing a 4-2-3-1. I wish I could switch to a 4-3-3, but I don't have the players to switch to a 4-3-3. I am just going to sneakily take a quick look at West Brom, just their pass map, just to see. Their form isn't great. I'm just going to have a look to see what areas of the pitch they like to play in. And that's the strangest looking. What have we got here? So these two, they've got a forward on support. It looks like they got a false 9. And then, I'm not quite sure where he's going. They've got all these players on support on this side. I think this is kind of like the strangest setup I've seen in a long time. That's really weird. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's really weird, but it looks quite effective. I've got to shoot, but thank you, intro. Thank you, Into. It's good to meet you, and hopefully you'll check back in soon. We'll be streaming again Sunday night, but that will be with Ipswich. That's a very tough save, but I think we might be seeing daylight. Thanks for coming along, and I do appreciate it. And it's good to meet you. And this looks very strange, doesn't it? Because we're getting a lot of. We've got 2 at the back. We've got the fullbacks. The fullbacks up here. So they've got these wing backs going romping up the field, and everybody else seems to be on a support duty. It's one of the strangest. There's got to be space in here. Has to be space. And the thought of playing direct actually starts to appeal to me. I'm just going to quickly look at the game before that, when they got a 0-0 draw. It's not surprising they're not scoring many goals, to be honest. And look at West Brom. Yeah, it's starting to look very, very weird, this. I'm not quite sure who that is. Diangana. He's totally isolated, but they're still getting the ball to him. Looks like they got a bunch of people supporting each other, and then they got a bunch of people supporting each other out here, leaving these 2 totally isolated. Totally isolated. So more direct passing might be the way to go against West Brom. Again, my assistant might be right there. This is the weirdest setup I've seen for a long time. I do know they're not very good. So I want to do attacking corners. Just focus on attack for this week. Is it the cup? No, this is the... where are they? They've fallen from grace and have slipped down to 10th. We are on the up, on the other hand. And I just hope I haven't made a mess, because I hope my players are available. We do probably have some tired players, and probably do need to make some changes. Yeah, there's a number of times. Look at Mepam. He's always knackered. I don't know what's wrong with that boy. The problem is he's still injured. Huggins is still not fit. That only leaves me with Alan Brown, who can play at right back. Ballard, though, is fit now. You don't need a rest. You've had a rest. So Ballard will have to play. So we swap those over. Ballard can play for Meppen. And we were defending quite well. The form we have. Hume is tired. And Huggins is going to have to come onto the bench. Even though he's tired, he might have to come on at half time. Sirkin is okay. He's going to get very tired as well. This is a real difficult one. Now, I can't play Huggins, can I? Dan Neil and Sam Edio. Well, that's what we've got. But he wants to switch him over. I actually don't think that it matters with these two. It doesn't really matter. He can play as the segundo on support, and he plays as the anchor on defend. It doesn't really matter with those two which way you have it. That's the way I want it. But it might be better to get him further forward. Do you ever manually rest the players? Yeah, I mean, I rest them after every game for a day. When there's 2 games a week, every day after a game, they get a day off. So they're getting 2 days off after the last game anyway. So I'm not quite sure why they... I really don't understand why they're getting so tired. Even the players on the bench are starting to look tired. But they're getting plenty of rest. Sirkin into central defence is probably not bad, but I need someone because Huggins is not fit. Now he wants to switch him back. Make your bloody mind up. He wants Samed as the anchor. That's what I had him as in the first place. Donkey. Leave me alone with that. And then Bellingham. Of course, Bellingham is fit because Bellingham was rested. So I can either play him up top because Connolly's knackered and also he's knackered. I could play Bellingham as a pressing forward up top. I could try him on a support duty. I mean, he's not the greatest striker in the world. Although 13-15 is not bad for finishing. His technique is good and decisions are poor. Concentration is all right. If I get him to come a bit deeper, I can employ a shadow striker in this role. We've got now almost a good coverage of passing across the field, but I'm not sure I really want to mess with that. And we do need to have inside forwards. I'll go with that. I've got to play him on an attack role because we need someone getting into the box. We don't have the players behind at this point in time. Anucci is my worry, as well as Samed. But we'll deal with that when the match comes around. Sunderland's home advantage gives them the edge in a close encounter. Could go either way, this thing, could it? But if we set up correctly, I actually don't know how to set up. Looking at the way they're playing, the only thing I can think of is just to go more direct. Possibly down the centre. Because they're... Well, even down both flanks because their centre-backs are isolated. This is the only thing I can think of. In both of the games, their centre-backs were very isolated. And they were putting pressure on the back line. So it's really important the back line is solid. And I could put both of these on attack and have a wing back on support. Now, this is going to leave. That's why I'm trusting this boy to stay around here. Because he needs to support as well as Sirkin and as well as Hume. So he needs to come in and support. We'll play higher up the pitch to compress the space. And I'm going to push up. Because I need to force them. Actually, no, I don't need to force them back, do I? I need to let them sit here and then hump the ball over the top and try and get behind them that way. That's the game plan. It's the only thing I can think of. Rehabilitation phase. Niall Huggins, he's going to have to sit on the bench. He's got to. These players, tired as they are, will have to come off the bench. I'll have to run with that. I could also keep Connolly up front and bring Bellingham in for Anucci. I'm not really interested, except I know I'm losing a player for a month, which is Samed, isn't it? Neil is a Brighton target. I'm not interested in selling him. I've got very few midfielders as it is. We've got one, have we? Oh no, we've got some left. We could look for loans, couldn't we? That's a good idea. Let's go to my director of football. I'm allowed to do this, and I could go for loan. Any suggestions? Pavlovic, he's quite expensive. 20 years old. Can't scout him. I think we can scout him, can't we? So Pavlovic, it's difficult to know. He's not a very good finisher. He'd have to play as an anchor, I think. His tackling is pretty good. His marking isn't bad. And physically, his mentals are not bad. So he'd be the anchor rather than the volante. And then there's Schuten. He's available for loan, and we don't know anything about him at all. Can play, though, as a centre-back as well. He's 6'3", which is nice. So I think we can sneak a scout report here, even though it's outside the... And then I don't know who this guy is, 19 years old. Same, he's more of an anchor than he is... So we'll get a little report on him, see if it makes it any clearer. Let's go to the scouted players and edit the search to... Can we ask for available for loan? Loan listed... No, we can't, can we? Listed. That's transfer, isn't it? Can we add condition here? Can't see available for loan here. Transfer status is not here, is it? No. That's interesting. Unless somebody knows how to do this. Play Job target forward, and I'd move the cam to centre midfielder on attack. Like, it's a good idea. It isn't actually a good idea. So you're talking about playing him as a target. I'm quite sure he's tall enough, is he? He's 6'2". So this would be an interesting way to go about it, because I really don't know how to approach this apart from I guess we'd play him as an attack. And then move this guy down to a centre mid on attack. That's an interesting way to look at it. It gives us a little bit another body in midfield as well. He's on international duty now. What do you think? Underneath the transfer status, was it? So let's go to scouted players again. Oh, loan status listed. There's nobody anyway. Nobody's available listed for loan. This game is playing hardball these days. Let's just pick any. So Connor Bradley would be very decent. Luke Thomas and Matty Pollock. Defense is my strongest. Defense is my strongest part of the field. Ah, boy. EFL Championship window opens. Who? Kickney? Who's Kickney? You mean Sirkin? I don't know if he. I don't think he can play midfield now. He's a centre back. Or Kickney. Who's Kickney? Was he in the scouting? I didn't see anybody. Job could play as a deep lying. Well, we are actually. I mean, the reason I like the target forward is because we decided we want to lob the ball. But I then would have to take that off because my idea was to use the flanks. But if we just take that off and let them lump it up the pitch wherever they like, I like the idea of this target forward, and maybe a support role is actually better because he'll come a bit deeper, and then these two will be running past him, and this one will be coming up the field to join him as well. I mean, that's kind of like an interesting. What about Hume? Can he play as a? Yeah, he kind of can play as a Segunde Volante. His finishing is awful. His long shots are awful. I could tell him to shoot less often, but these players tend not to do as they're told. The mentals are okay for the role, and the physicals are okay. It's just the technical ability. His technique is also 9. Doesn't quite have the technical ability to actually fulfill it, unfortunately. Bellingham, on the other hand, is a DM. And he is a good Segundo Volante. That's a thought. So these 3 players and the wing-backs will be keeping the possession. And if they are deep, eventually I want one of them to lump it long. It's just how we play this forward. And I'm going to actually play him as a pressing forward on attack. We've got 3 attacking players, or 4. We're going to need to play him on support, aren't we? So we're going to have 3 attacking players going past the pressing forward on support. Is Chris Riggs still injured? No, he's okay. I just don't trust him. But I like this idea of bringing back the centre mid. I like that idea. And then we're going to play direct. We're not going to mess about. They have got no fullback support. By the look of it, in the last 2 games, they've got no fullback support, which is why I want to actually lump it over the top to the flanks. It means we'll play out here, and if we can get it behind here, then they can come in at their leisure and attack the centre-backs. Which makes me then think I do need to have a Nucci up here to help attack the centre-backs. There's only 2 of them. We really need to overload those centre-backs. Make Ballard a CD support to support the anchor. Yeah, I thought that was a bit odd. We can't make him put him on a support role. But you mean a stopper? To push up a little bit? You can... Or we can have an inverted wing back on support who will come up into here to support the... And then we could, even if we need to get a goal, we can put him on an attack role. So we'll have the inverted wing back coming in here. Leaves big space though, and I'm not too keen on doing that. So maybe this is probably not a good idea. It sounded good at the time. Let's put him on attack and put him back on support. It sounded good at the time. What I need to do is swap those over. Bellingham is better on his right foot. So our passing was actually good when we covered across the field, and if we can pull them out, the lines will pull them out, get the ball over the top out wide, and then we've got players in space. I mean, it just looked to me like there was no structure. Rumours in the press, Charlie Penmo, he is centre-back. I don't want a centre-back. I'm okay there. I need a DM from somewhere, a gift from the heavens. We are playing well. At the moment, we are playing well. And I don't want to upset the apple cart by making them do something totally outrageous. Offers made for Sunderland's Neil. No chance. Absolutely, the player has... Oh, Jesus. But he wants to leave, does he? Who made the offers? Everton, Southampton, Fulham. Oh, this is the last thing I want. He's one of the best players we have, as you can see. And there are no DMs available. There's nothing I can do apart from cheat. And this is my attempt at the unofficial World Cup. I can't cheat. Let's have a look at his happiness. Thinks Anthony Pat. It's not good that he just organises the defence. There's no strong feelings, but he's very close to me. What we could do is try to persuade him that the money was not enough. We can try Patterson first. I don't think... Oh, he's not even happy about doing it. So that's a good sign. His morale's gone down as well. Let's just go and do it. I would appreciate being allowed to talk to Everton. Well, we do need him here for one more season. Could we say why leave when stay here? He's very close to me, and be successful here with me. Yes. If we don't go up, I'm off, he said. And to be fair, if we don't go up, you're welcome to leave, because I'll be out of a job anyway, because I'll be out of the World Cup. And, yes, good call. I just thought if his relationship is very close to me, then saying, stay with us, we're going to get promoted, stay with me, and he might be persuaded, and it worked. We don't want to do that. We do have a little bit of a rest. Gathered monthly staff meeting. We just had one of them every month, yeah. So squad registration is getting easier and easier. I don't want to lose players. I mean, there's a number of players who could go, but Dan Neil is not one of them. We do have a number of under 21s. We've only actually got 23. I simply want a DM. Is that too much to ask, FM? That's all I want is a DM. Just give me, it's Christmas time, give me a DM for Christmas. And then that's all I need. Secure. Supporters are pleased. The transfer window, they're anxious to see how I will do. I'd like to have a bit of money and some players available, if it's at all possible. Oh, we do. I thought we had a week. Let's just check on who's tired and who's not tired now. They've actually all recovered, which is good news. Even Huggins has recovered. So Huggins can come in here. And he can play as a wing back on support very nicely. Very good player. Now, defensively, we are solid. Is Metbum still tired? Is he? Bless him. Yeah, still knackered. What a waste of space. So that gives us one other option at right back. Chris Rigg can come in here. I think he can. No, he's one of the players that can go. I think that not going to get much money in for him, but I think he can go. As well as this geezer. I think he could probably leave as well. He's never going to be in my plans, so Alan Brown probably does need some game time, to be honest. He's not a bad player. He's not brilliant, but he's not a bad player. The only problem is with Bellingham playing, and we don't have a reserve striker. So I would have to put Mayenda on the bench. I'm going to start Louis Barry instead of Isidore, because I don't think he's been that great, to be honest. And at some point Patrick Roberts is going to need a rest, but now is not the time. Yeah, my only worry, I've got Isidore now, who can play as the striker should I need him. Yeah, I agree. Let's play positive. Focus play down the left. These boys are being asked to play in a way they're not familiar with. However, if we look at the passing style, I think it does say awkward. But I'm convinced that there is room at the back of their fullbacks. They just kind of leave their two centre-backs all alone. Let's go with that for now. And let's have a look at the opposition. I don't really know what the game plan is in terms of how I want to deal with these players. Not going to do anything with him. And we're not going to do anything with him really, apart from right foot. I don't have a game plan in terms of challenging them. I didn't look at how their crossing was going. I don't think that they play all their football around here. I don't think they get near enough. Furlong is a decent crosser of the ball. He's actually a decent, so yeah, right to bring him inside. He's tired anyway. I'm going to do right foot on him. Generally, the wingers, hard tackle. And I want him coming inside. He's a decent crosser. And Swift is their main man. I'm going to tight mark Swift just to keep him out of the game. And a winger, I'm not ever really sure about tight marking a winger. Not a good idea. But a good hard tackle and turn him onto... Turn him onto his right foot. And we don't want to get too close to somebody with 16 pace. And then Daryl Dyke is just keep him... he doesn't have... Who's also 6'2". I don't think he has a weaker foot. If we're bringing those inside forwards inside, need to make sure that these geezers are closing down a bit more. We're going to go with this. And I'm going to expect today. I don't expect too often of them. But today, I'm expecting. Can you ask your director of football to suggest one? For loans, we did ask him to suggest some DMs, and we are scouting them. I think they're possibly going to be useful anchors. And two of them, I think, are well within our price range. So, I think, is that a red card? The referee has sent him off. Well, that's a good start. And we've scored. That's a double punishment. I didn't see what happened there, but I'm not too bothered. Yeah, we did. So, we did ask for DMs. There's nothing available for loan, but we are scouting for a week some possibilities, which are within our price range. So I'm just going to try and keep an eye on these two lines. Do they get out of shape in these two lines? And they've almost got, you can see the two lines and the two centre backs totally isolated. And it's like they're playing a 2-4-4, which is kind of weird. When they're going forward, they're like got two at the back, and they're playing a 2-4-4. And I think we're doing this right because there's loads of room on the flanks. Oh, it was almost 2-0. If your wingers are a good player, good physically, wide target man could work. It could do, but I'm not going to change it at the moment because we're winning. That is a good suggestion, I got to admit. firing the ball wide to a wide target man would be brilliant. But we're winning at the moment. We can see there's tons of space out behind their wing backs. There is a ton of space. Their wing backs are playing like wingers, and it's isolating two centre backs who are having to deal now with 4 forwards. I don't know what they're up to, West Brom. The manager wants to get sacked, I think. I mean, because I find it really strange. It's the first time I've ever seen the AI do something bizarre like that. It's quite unique, this one, isn't it? It's quite unique. But how to play against it, I'm really not sure. I just hope that we're doing the right thing. Oh, what a header that was. Oh, we've certainly got them hemmed in. And the mid-block was the right thing to do, because pressing them too high would limit the space that we have behind them. And there's space in front as well. There's tons of space all over the place. If we can just score a couple of goals, it'd be handy though, boys. I do like the idea of the wide target forward, but I don't think we need to change it at the moment. Look at the space that Sirkin's got. We're not using the space properly, but you can see how open it is for players to run into these areas. Did we click on pass into space? Because that's really important. That might be the one instruction that creates the difference. I need them to get the ball into those two wide open spaces. Our wingers will do the rest. You owe me a goal, Patrick Roberts. You've been playing really poorly. You owe me a goal. It's nice to see us having shots, even though we're not actually distressing West Brom with them at the moment. He was onside. I'm really not quite sure what tactic West Brom are playing. Just look at the space we have out here. I'm really not sure what they're trying to do. Are they trying to just have players on the counter-attack? And that they're going to have like 6 players on the counter-attack, maybe? I don't know. Because it looks like they're playing a 2-4-4. It's just the strangest thing I've ever seen. I might have to go away and try to work that tactic myself. See if I can get it to work, and it's 2-0. They're just wide open. Is the AI just giving me a couple of games? They're just wide open. Any manager worth his salt would have seen this from the heat maps and the pass maps. Look at the space we have. This is insane. They've got to change this. They have to change this, or they're going to be in serious trouble. Well, now they've got a 3, and they've gone to more like a 3-3-4. No, a 3-4-3 now, which is. Well, now they've just isolated the 2 at the centre again. If we can get the ball over the top, there's acres of space available. I didn't know the AI was capable of something as insane as this. I thought they just did standard tactics. But this is quite mad. They might settle down into a different shape eventually, and I'd like to see what that shape is. I'd like to have a look at the pass map at half-time. Not ours. I'm not really bothered about ours. I know we're playing it out to the flanks. I'd like to see their pass map. They are down to 10 men, which doesn't help them, I don't think. Especially with the space they are leaving out wide. It really doesn't help them. I think that I'm going to come back to a balanced style of play. I don't think we need to attack. And we'll just soak up pressure and hit them on the counter-attack. Second half, I'll just go balanced and we can just see the game out. Because we don't need to do anything now. Just defend well. Sirkin needs to ease off the tackles a little bit. The passing, the more direct passing is causing mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But they're still, like now they've got 3 at the back. It's like they have a sweeper here. I'm not quite sure how they're managing that. Oh, Roberts, you owe me a goal. But it's all Sunderland at the moment. 9, only 4 on target though. Have we still got... Shall I take that off? Let them... Yeah, I'm going to take that off. Just let them get near the penalty and have a shot, boys. Don't be afraid. That's a penalty, ref. That's it. Just take a shot. Don't be afraid. So defending, they're going into a 4-2-3 now. And now back to like a 4-3-1. But when they're attacking, they just leave these 2 centre-backs back. And that's what we need to do, is turn the ball over and counter-attack down the flanks. But it doesn't have to be direct passing, and it'd be interesting to see the half-time stats. Our passing, I think, is letting us down a little bit. So maybe it can be a little bit shorter, our passing. Just keep possession. They're still going to have these 2 and still going to be isolated. Plenty of space to work. But our passing, the possession... isn't that bad, I think. We've had 63% of the possession. And our pass completion is 91%. So passing doesn't need to change. We just need to keep running them around. And we've hardly drawn a breath. We haven't used any energy at all up to this point. We just run them into the ground. Have you ever seen the AI, guys? Have you ever seen the AI do something as daft as this? It's insane. When they're going forward, they're just leaving 2 at the back. They seem to have gone into a back 4 now. And the wing backs are not going as far forward as they did right at the start of the game before they got the man sent off. So maybe they have settled into a little bit of a more sensible approach now. They've had the man sent off. And it looks to me like they've settled into a 4 at the back. Although they've only left one centre-back there now. If we turn the ball over, they're in big trouble. But we've got to move it. We've got to move it quickly. But I can see maybe what they're trying to do, because they had a 4 and a 4. So they're trying to overload the flanks themselves. So I can see what they're trying to do. But it's quite bizarre. They left 2 central defenders on their own to deal with 4 forwards. That's quite bonkers. Yeah, now they've gone to a more traditional 4-2-3. It looked a handball to me by Sirkin. Got away with that. It looked definitely like a handball. Come on, boys. The passing needs to be better than that. Swifter, longer. That's a lovely cross. And finally, Roberts has given me the goal. I don't know what to say. I've never seen this before. See, they've left 2 at the back. And now they're all over the place. He couldn't miss. In fact, James could have scored from there. Well, maybe not. But I definitely would have scored. Maybe James wouldn't have. Well, it's game over, really. I think we just need to shut up shop in the second half and just keep the ball off them. Pass completion's brilliant and our possession is awesome. What a strange game. Now, when we bring Mepam back, I hope he's not going to whinge. He's had 2 games off now. I hope he's not going to whinge about feeling tired anymore. There's always one centre-back who does that. Was more of a midfield when I was younger. So you're actually the same as me, James. I played as a left-sided midfielder. I started off as a right-footed player. I couldn't use my left foot. But I just trained every single day for an hour using my left foot. And in the end, I became left-footed. So in the end, I became a left midfielder. Yeah, my left foot became much stronger than my right foot in the end. But I also liked a long shot. Got a newspaper cutting talking about my long shots from my school days. Those local papers in the old days, like reporting on school events, school sports games and stuff. I miss that. The days of the community, when your name was on the back pages, the local rag, as Llanelli grammar beat Neath grammar in a tense thriller. I miss those days. Oh, what a chance. So you and me, James, were pretty much the same, but we'd have still scored that header. You couldn't bloody miss. Oh, that's the second time the bar's been rattled as well. This is insane, this way they're playing. I love it, though. It's a bit like my one central defender, 3 at the back, WM tactic. Insane. Oh, I think we look better when we're Just get it in the box and shoot. Don't take too many touches. Get it in the box and shoot. And I should have done this a long time ago. Should have taken time. This is an important save. I've got to get promoted. And I should have taken the time to get promoted and not even looking at how your own tactics working is irresponsible management. 4-0. And again, it's come from out wide. It's just insane, this. And we spotted a weakness behind their... Well, I'm not quite sure what to call them because they are so high up the pitch. And there's that weakness again. And it's too easy. Even Connolly can score. This is mad. I've never seen this before. Again, you can see 2 on their own. And look at all the space. If we turn it over, they are in big trouble. We turn it over in these areas of the pitch. It's just one pass. Was a right footer and dangerous. I once got very close to goalkeeper and got the Panenka. Don't ever say that. It was a piece of world-class skill, James. Don't ever say it was a mistake. It was a world-class bit of skill. I miss those old days. They do say, enjoy your school days because they're going to be, you'll remember them as the best days of your life. And I do. They were definitely, my school days and university days were the best days of my life. For different reasons, but nothing ever has been the same as that. But mind you, I'm going back a long way. I can remember the school was during the time where we actually had free school dinners in grammar school. We did my 6th form, I think, was the first time that we had to pay for them, which came as a big shock to parents. But yeah, we even had free school dinners in those days. Your right footer, very dangerous. You and me are alike, James. Oh, it's another one. And again, that's come from behind the wing-back, even though it was a set piece. The wing-back's too high. And these two poor buggers... They are on their own. I wonder what on earth, they must be complete wing backs on attack, both of them. It's the only thing I can think of. They're complete wing backs on attack. He's got 2 in midfield. Or it looks like he's got 3 in midfield. And it's now 5-0. How embarrassing for them. Here we go. Stop it there. If they get the ball turned over in this area here, it's one pass. It's one pass and we're in. And we have supporting players. It's like insane. I mean, luckily we're not turning the ball over high up the pitch, because if we were, it would be more than 5. And it may well be more than 5 before half time. Well, I understand they've had a player sent off, but that's not the reason why they're losing 5-0. They're still... Look, they're going forward with a huge amount of players, and they've got 2 in midfield and 2 at the back on their own. And it's just one pass. Here we go. We weren't quick enough. The Premier League side would rip them apart. Imagine Salah playing against that. Like having a field day. How much time is the referee adding on here? Come on, there is the ball. That's it, too easy. It's got to be full-time referee. I mean, half-time at least. Putting the players through hell here. Into the box. Not quite. 5-0 at half-time. That's insane. I need to have a look at this, boys. I'm really sorry. Not this one. This one really doesn't matter. But I absolutely need to have a look at this. They've gone a little bit since they've had the players sent off. They're now almost like playing with a 1-4-3. Oh, wait a minute. They've gone to a 3-4-1 now. So they're not playing with the 2 complete wing backs anymore. They're actually now, it looks like they've got a 3 at the back now. But one of them is still going too high up the pitch, leaving 2 of them on their own. So have a look at the average positions. I mean, that is the most insane thing I've ever seen. I can't quite make that out. With the ball. I think because they've had the man sent off, they are... Yeah, here we go. And if he's... So with the ball, he's actually... Now, he was up here. So previously, he was up here, leaving these 2 on their own. And a massive hole on either side. So they were playing with a 2-4-4 originally. Insane. Absolutely insane. But there we are. The AI has surprised me again. We'll just close him down. And... I'll tackle him. I don't really want to do anything other than that. They're not threatening. I don't want him crossing though, so let's bring him into his right foot. And then Jed Wallace. Hard tackle him and left foot. Well, it looks all very easy at the moment. Sirkin probably needs a rest. He's on a yellow card. He needs a rest. So I'm going to bring Trihume on for Sirkin. The rest of them are coping pretty well. Well, yeah, what a 45 minutes. Seemed confused and demotivated because he's been taken off. Sirkin and Ballard now. I just told them they were really good. And they got confused and demotivated. He's just because he doesn't want to be taken off. I want to rest him. That's why. How are your Sunderland team doing in the league? I don't know. We might be getting close to second now. Yeah, we've gone up to second. Derby are losing to Leeds. So we've gone back to second. So maybe the worst is behind us. This has helped because we've simply taken them apart. But then I'd kind of like never seen anything like this. Back in FM23 days, there was a man-made tactic with 2 wing-backs, 2 ball-playing defenders. It might be. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Have you ever come across anything as insane as that? A team like playing with almost the shape is almost a 2-4-4. I mean, it didn't take a genius to work out when I was looking at the heat maps that the space they were going to leave behind them on the flanks, which is why we went direct, is to try and get behind the defenders, because we knew there's tons of space behind them. Even again, you can see how much space we have in this area. If we can just move the ball quicker, then the space is just opening up. And the scoreline shows it. And it's now 6. Well, this could be a cricket score at the end of it. I don't know what's really going on here. Because there's no one out covering out wide. Absolutely no one. You'd think if you're going to have a player sent off, you're going to actually close these spaces down now. But when they're going forward, they're not closing these spaces off. And sometimes when they go forward, they leave horrid spaces at the back. I think the mid-block helps because it helps to pull them out a little bit and leaves more space behind them. And maybe they're used to teams playing with a high press, and that actually might work against a high press. I don't know. But it just makes sense to actually play with a mid-block and just bring them out a little bit. I don't know. It's really strange. I'm not too happy with our shooting, and I'm going to tell them to work the ball in the box now. So there's a little bit too much shooting going on. Just make sure it's a little bit more clinical now. Shouldn't get greedy. We're 6-0 up. But perfection is the name of the game. Oh, we got dropped back to third now. Derby must have equalised. Yeah, that's what I want to avoid. And then there's a couple of other players I suppose I need to rest. Patrick Roberts probably. Dan Neil probably could do with a rest. Although he was injured for a while, so probably he doesn't. What's the matter with him? Complacent. It's relentless, isn't it? It's relentless. Have I got anyone near a 10? He's on a 9.8, is he, Patrick Roberts? It's relentless now. They're done. Having a player sent off very early on is never helpful, but they haven't responded very well to that. I'm going to give my wingers not my wingers, my front players, Roberts and Anucci. I need to give them a break now. And therefore, Banete should be raring to go. And could move Bellingham up. Bellingham should be very fit. He's not, but we could move Bellingham up. And then bring on... Let's give Chris Rigg a shot. See what you can do, boy. Show me that you're worth a shot in the team. Hey. I mean, I don't know whether people... oh, that was close. Whether people like seeing somebody mess about in the data hub and the chalkboard and all that nonsense. But I've loved it ever since I was playing FM. It was always for me about stats. It was always for me about tactical... a little bit developing a little bit of tactical nous, outsmarting the opposition, and I don't know if people appreciate that. And I did have that little row at the beginning with someone who wanted me to get on with it, and I've been getting on with it, and it's not paid off. And then we made those changes in the first game, worked an absolute treat. And got a very, very good 1-0 win away from home the first game. And then being able to spot where the gaps were in this game. Now it's 6-0. Like, if you do the work, if you do the research, you get rewards. As somebody, I think it was Saul, who said it to me last time out. And he's right. If you put in the groundwork, you'll get the rewards. You'll get done in by the game once in a while. But you'll get the rewards at the end of the day. They're all complacent now, are they? Well, I would have preferred... You get paid a lot of money, Sunshine, for playing football. Preferred to stay on the bench? What is the matter with them? So, I, for one, am happier. Because today, it's been... 2 extremely good wins. All right, we haven't played 6 games at 200 miles an hour. But for me, I don't know, the experience is more enjoyable. And then maybe people will say, well, I shouldn't be doing YouTube. And they're probably right. This isn't for everybody. This way of playing is probably more appreciated by people who've been playing the game for years rather than... people who are just starting. I mean, it has always interested me. I might do a poll just to ask how many people actually use the chalkboard and the data hub and spend a great deal of time in there. It might be worth doing a poll just to see how many people do. I'm just rambling now while I'm enjoying this game. We are totally battering them. I'm half tempted. What I'm half tempted to do, after this highlight, just for giggles, that's a corner. What I'm tempted to do is to make it even wider and to really rub their noses in it, and I'm going to put them both as wingers. Let's just make it so that they're getting really much wider and seeing if we can get crosses into the box, then we might pop one of the headers. At the moment we're coming inside, taking shots, and they're off target. If we can get out wide, it might be a cunning plan. But they've defended much better in the second half. But our finishing has been very poor in the second half. Let's make these final subs, shall we? I think Connolly deserves some time. Isidore can come on as the pressing forward. And Huggins, this is a difficult one. Alan Brown can come on for Huggins. I'll just see it through now, boys. I don't think we're going to concede 7. I just want to see how they function with wingers instead of inside forwards. Does it create even more space? They should. Like, they are going to be in all sorts of trouble. Yeah, they're in desperate straits. We're also going to have Hume cut inside with the ball as well. They are in desperate trouble. So do you think they're going to make this as easy for me in the next game? Because we've got to play them in the cup. Am I going to just get fooled by this and get beaten in the cup if we play the same way? That's going to be the interesting thing. Because of the sending off, we never actually got to see them playing with that almost 2-4-4 system. Because I think they reverted to a more traditional kind of like a 3-3-3-2 kind of system. And became a little bit more defensively solid. But I kind of think the manager will abandon this now. I think that he must be able to see this is not a very good system. "36 shots. Don't see that very often in a competitive match, especially not Sunderland. Oh, way too much space. Way too much. There was a little pass inside, you greedy bugger. There were 2 inside waiting to tap it in. And you just decided to take a shot yourself. So Garnacho. Look at this. Look at these stats. They're insane. Let's make it 8 before the final whistle, boys. That's I'm never satisfied, am I? I mean, I think a lot of people contributed to this because a lot of people in the chat could see that the space out wide was absolutely incredible. And that was just looking at the heat maps and the pass map. I think everybody in the chat contributing to how we should line up could see that there was huge gaps. And I'm really not quite sure what he had in mind when lining up that way. Maybe he tried to be attacking. Maybe it's an attacking kind of 2 at the back system. And the complete wing backs are supposed to be extremely fit and get back and do defensive stuff as well as their attacking stuff. I just see it as asking for trouble, and we gave them trouble. We knew where to target it, and we gave them trouble. It was. I don't think it's anything to do with me. Any manager worth his salt would have seen that, and many of you did in the chat. So I don't think I can take credit for this one. I take credit for the first one, but not for this one, because everybody saw it. And we just then had to figure out how to get round the back. And playing more direct was just simply the only way to do it. It was just go wide and direct. Three minutes. 7-0, we'll take that. It's not the greatest of second halves. Only 2 scored in the second half, but it was a good performance. A good solid. We don't normally score 7, so I think that we should feel good about that. That's a poor pass. Maybe one of the reasons why inside forwards were better. Just more compact in the middle. But it was worth a try, trying wingers. Oh, that was, that was just insane. But I'd say 2 good wins. And I do apologise. The game is turning over very slow. But I'm happier now. Because I feel like I have some element of control over what's going on, rather than just like allowing the game to do whatever the game liked. We have some element of control in this now. And it is right. If you do the groundwork, you'll get the results you need. As we're showing in the Villa save. Getting some absolutely brilliant results for Villa. That's it, referee. Blow the whistle. Save them future embarrassment. $7-0. I don't really know what to say to them, except well done. I'm very happy with the result and the way you play. I don't want to tell them we're going to take it into the next game. That's not what it's about. But that was just about as good as it gets. And Derby actually came back and won, did they? And Burnley must have won as well. No, drew. So we're still only 2 points behind Derby. Derby will collapse for sure at some point. Again, could do with the rest. Another one. About time Patrick Roberts had a good game. When's the next match? $5 days. I'm still going to rest them. I need to give them a day off, especially Mepham. Actually, it's Ballard this time, isn't it? So what I'm going to do with Ballard, let's do them all. And then take Ballard out. So let's rest those for 1 day. Same with Trihume. Can be rested for 1 day. And then Ballard, I'm going to rest for 2 days. So he gets 3 days off now. That's enough, all this resting nonsense. Phil, what are your thoughts on the FM Tweak Match Engine mod? I think they like to be called FM Match Lab now. And I'm using it now. I'm using the most up-to-date version. Ever since I installed version 1, I've thought that the graphics are much, much better. And I mean, I'm not supposed to call them graphics, but what I see on the screen is much better. The tweaks they're making in terms of the animation that I'm seeing over all my saves is really good. I'm very impressed. I sometimes worry that it is harder for strikers to score, but the jury, I think, is still out on that. If you go to the Discord, I think the jury is still out on that. I don't think it has had any effect on the way that you play. I think if you're set up tactically well, then it will continue to do well for you. I think overall, I'm very impressed with it. I know they're doing 2 more projects. They have 2 more projects in the pipeline. I'm looking forward to those and to what happens with the new things that they're going to bring out. And one of them is timing. And it's like the timing of maybe like the goalkeepers, dives, all that kind of stuff can be sometimes off. But they're going to be working on stuff like that. So I think they're making very good improvements all around. We saw one goalkeeping save in the first game today, which was absolutely fabulous. It might have been the second, but I think it was the first. And it was a brilliant save. And the whole timing and the look of it looked right to me. So, yeah, I am impressed, Eric, with what's going on. I will never say anything bad about it. But the only concern I have is maybe strikers are finding it a little bit more difficult to score in this version, in version 1.4. But again, I haven't made my mind up on that. I haven't played enough with it. So overall, I really like it. I'm very impressed. Make the jump mid-season. Yeah, I mean, I made the jump mid-season and it has not affected anything that I've done. It was Ipswich I made the jump, and it didn't affect anything in the slightest. So, yeah, make the jump. It's worth it. It looks better. It feels better playing it. So I hope that answers. I'm a big fan. And with that, guys, it's 10:30. And I am desperate for a cup of tea. And I know we haven't zipped through game after game after game, but I have enjoyed pitting my wits against the AI today, which I haven't been doing in the past. And I've been getting myself more and more frustrated because the AI was in control and I didn't have any control. I do need to work on my tactic. I've left that just stagnate. And I'm not even sure that is set up properly at the moment. But we need to look. I need to look at a lot of things, and I need to just study the game a little bit more before I just go and willy-nilly play games and leave it to the match engine to decide. I mean, I hope I haven't chased too many people away because it's taking too long. But I have enjoyed myself, and I hope that one or two of others have enjoyed the delve into what goes on behind the scenes rather than just what goes on the pitch. That's how I see it. And the manager's job is not just what goes on the pitch, but what you do behind the scenes. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. And hope I see many of you soon. I notice views are up and watch time is up tonight. So maybe that's the way forward. So all I'm going to say now before I go off for my cup of tea is thanks for coming. Stay safe. Take care. And I'll see you on Sunday, I hope, when Ipswich will continue. Thanks, boys. See you soon. Thank you, Planivar. Thank you very much. See you soon, guys.